The Duchess of Sussex made a surprise visit to a community cafe for girls and women who are homeless before leaving Germany at the end of the Invictus Games. In photos that surfaced just as the Prince of Wales commenced his Earthshot trip in New York City, Meghan, 42, is pictured beaming with a woman who is thought to be named Islan Idemir at Tribecafe. The images, which were shared by fan accounts on social media, were undated but are believed to have been taken before the Duchess left Germany after the Invictus Games last week. Opting for another monochrome outfit, the Duchess donned a £300 grey cable-knit long-sleeved top from Totem and a pair of £300 pleated wide-leg trousers from the same brand. As she met with workers and women who visit the community cafe before the end of the Sussexes' joint trip to Germany, Prince William landed in the couple's home country of the US as he touched down at Newark Airport ahead of a week of Earthshot events. While at the cafe, which employs social workers to help women who visit, Meghan was pictured in a sweet moment with a little girl who appeared to present her with a dish. In the snaps, the Duchess can be seen wearing gold bracelets on her wrist, and wearing her thick brunette locks loose and hanging past her shoulders. She beams as she stands with her arm around one woman at the cafe. The community space provides support and resources for women and girls who are homeless and has recently launched a campaign against period poverty. This is an issue Meghan has spoken out on in the past. In 2017, the then 35-year-old girlfriend of Prince Harry penned an essay for Time magazine about how the shame associated with menstruation and the lack of access to appropriate sanitation hinders girls from pursuing an education in developing nations. Meghan stressed that in order to remedy the problem of period poverty, girls need menstrual hygiene management, access to toilets and sanitary pads. She wrote, "Beyond India, in communities all over the globe, young girls' potential is being squandered because we are too shy to talk about the most natural thing in the world." To that I say, we need to push the conversation, mobilize policy making surrounding menstrual health initiatives, support organizations who foster girls' education from the ground up, and within our own homes, we need to rise above our puritanical bashfulness when it comes to talking about menstruation. The photos emerge just days after the Invictus Games closing ceremony, during which Prince Harry gave an emotional speech. His 5-minute speech saluted those who have taken part in the week-long games, which were founded in 2014 for veterans to represent their county and compete in. Meghan stood alongside her husband. She wore a 830-pound Raylene dress from Cult Gaia, laser-cut with floral patterns. She paired the frock with 525 pounds purest leather pumps from Aquatsura, 595 pounds Kamai diamond earrings made with lab-grown stones, a 5,000 pounds Cartier bracelet and a 50,000 pounds Lorraine Schwartz emerald-cut diamond pinky ring. Meanwhile, Prince William, who has just arrived in the US where the Sussexes are returning to, has been busy with his own worthy causes. Last night, William, 41, met with UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres to discuss efforts required to accelerate the fight against climate change and protect the environment. The Prince of Wales and the UN Secretary-General appeared in high spirits as they toured the 93-member world body where world leaders have gathered for their annual summit. After telling reporters it was so good to be back in the US as he got waist-deep in the Hudson at an oyster project, he took a trip to the UN ahead of a no-nonsense climate summit being hosted by Guterres on Wednesday. After their meeting, a UN spokesperson said the pair also discussed efforts to enhance implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals, as well as financing for development. Guterres warned that the goals need a global rescue plan. Earlier, William heaped praise on the US, saying no one does optimism and ingenuity like the American people as he arrived at Newark Airport last night on the two-day trip. William, who flew commercial and was traveling without the Princess of Wales, went straight from the airport to Governor's Island, which sits in New York Harbor. There he was due to learn about the Billion Oyster Project, which aims to make the waters around New York clean by putting 1 billion oyster shells in them by 2035 to act as natural filters. Tomorrow William will announce the 15 finalists for this year's Earthshot Prize, which awards companies and projects focusing on climate solutions. There appears to be no plans to see his estranged brother while in the US, just days after Prince Harry's Invictus Games came to a close in Dusseldorf, Germany. During their time in Dusseldorf, the Sussexes were a hit with athletes at the Invictus Games, as well as their families and other spectators. Much like Harry's brother William, the couple made their own diplomatic visits, including to a NATO meeting one morning before they headed to the sitting volleyball event.